Hi students, good afternoon. Yes, yesterday we discussed about the basics of electrostatics, that is electric field intensity, and we derived an expression for the electric field intensity at a point at a distance from the source charge, and we represented that in vector form, and finally the expression for the electric field intensity is represented in position vector form. Today I am going to tell you about the electric field due to number of charges. Say you have two different charges, Q1 and Q2. Because of Q1 at a distance R1 from it, say there is a point P, and you are going to calculate the electric field at point P because of Q1 and because of Q2 also, which is at a distance R2. And the electric field because of Q1 at point P will be directed like this, and because of Q2 it is directed in the opposite way. Let the electric field because of the first charge is E1, and because of the charge Q2 let it be E2. Then we can write E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R square expression for calculating E1 as well as E2. E1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 by R1 square, and E2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q2 by R2 square. This is the magnitude of the electric field because of these two charges. If you want to find the direction, what you are going to do? You are going to add the unit vector, right? In first case, it is R1 cap, and in second case, it is R2 cap. Now, because of these two, the net electric field at point P, E, is equal to E1 plus minus E2. Why am I writing minus here? Observe, E1 and E2 are acting in opposite direction. Hence, why we are writing A is equal to E1 plus minus E2. Clear? Once you know this, I am going to introduce the principle which we studied in case of charges, superposition principle, right? Let us suppose you have some discrete distribution of charges. Say there are charges Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 and Qn located in space. Okay, that too, the distribution is random distribution. There is no continuity. And because of all these charges, say at a point P, you are going to calculate the electric field. So you are supposed to calculate the electric field because of Q1, then because of Q2, then because of Q3, then because of Q4, and finally because of Qn. And you are supposed to add all those electric field intensities vectorially, like E is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4, so on En. Okay. So let me give you the statement of the superposition principle here. The electric field intensity at a point in space because of number of charges distributed discretely is the vector sum of the electric fields due to individual charges. I think it is very simple. Once you know this, let us make our discussion for continuous charge distribution. Continuous charge distribution. Okay, till now we considered point charge, then we consider number of charges distributed discretely, and we calculated the electric field intensities. Now, because of continuous charge distribution, how can we calculate the electric field intensity? Okay, initially let me consider, okay, the first one, a line of charge. Line of charge. So what is this line of charge? Let me suppose we have a conductor, right, which is in the form of a string. Now this can be charged by means of conduction or by means of induction, whatever procedure we can adopt, right? We can charge it. Let me say I am going to give a charge plus Q to this string at this point. Okay, at this point. That charge, as this being a conductor, flows through it. Right? It can easily flow. As you are supplying the charge by means of conduction, whatever the charge that we give, that charge continuously flows to the other end, and from there again it moves back. It cannot propagate further. Why? Because after this end, whatever present there is nothing but air medium. Air is a bad conductor of electricity, so it will not allow the propagation of this charge further. So this charge has to go up again down, up and down. There will be real struggle between the charges, because one charge will be repelling the other charge, and the other charge will be repelling this charge as well as other charge. So after continuous struggle, all charges now settles themselves at equal distance from each other continuously. Now you have a line of charge. Because of this line of charge, how to find the electric field intensity at a distance r from it at a point P? That is the question. If you observe this point P, all charges are located at different distances from it. So to calculate the electric field intensity at this point, it is very difficult, because the expression that E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R square is applicable only for point charges. Okay, it is applicable only for point charges, but you have a continuous distribution of charge. Then how to apply this for this present situation? For that purpose, we are going to adopt a general method. Okay. Before that, let me try to recall the quantity which we discussed earlier, that is linear charge density. Okay, linear charge density. So linear charge density is defined as charge present on unit length of a linear conductor like this, and this linear charge density is represented by lambda. From this, the charge on the line of charge is always equal to lambda into L. Now, the procedure I am going to tell you, just be clear about that. On this line of charge, choose a small elemental length in such a way that it can be considered as a point charge. Say, I am going to take a very small length, okay? To have visibility, I am taking it a little bit lengthy, but it is in fact is very small. I can say infinitesimally small. On this infinitesimally small length, there will be a very small charge. So that small charge dq now can be represented as lambda into dl as per the knowledge that we have. Okay. Now the charge dq present on dl length is nothing but a point charge. Because of that, at distance r from it, at point P, the electric field intensity will be very small because the charge is small. So dE is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught into dq by r square. Isn't it? So dE is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught into dq by r square. If you want to find the electric field due to this line of charge where you have continuous distribution of charge, you have to apply a simple calculus technique, that is integration. By integrating this small electric field because of the small charge, okay, you can find the total electric field intensity, right? Or we can write E is equal to lambda by 4 by epsilon naught integral dl by r square. Very simple. So we are initially considering a small elemental length which will act as a point charge. For point charges only, this expression is valid. Hence, by adopting them, finally we arrive at an expression for the electric field intensity in case of a linear charge distribution. I can say line of charge or linear charge distribution. Once you know, let us find the electric field E due to surface charge distribution. Okay, surface charge distribution. So, how can you find E due to surface charge distribution? For that purpose, I am considering a surface on which there is continuous charge distribution, right? Let me suppose the area of the surface area as A, and let me suppose the charge that is present on that is Q. Then I can introduce a quantity called as surface charge density here. Surface charge density, right? This surface charge density is represented by a letter sigma, and it is defined as the charge per unit surface area. Once you know this, the expression you can write for the total charge present on area A as Q is equal to sigma A. Now, I am going to find the electric field intensity because of this surface charge distribution which is continuous. That is mandatory to remember. It is continuous charge distribution. Okay. Let us consider a point P located at a distance R from a very small surface area. Okay. Choose a very small surface in such a way that the charge present over the surface is a point charge. So let that charge be dq. So dq is the charge on the surface ds. Okay, then you can write this dq is equal to sigma into ds. Now this dq is a point charge. Now suitably you can apply the expression that you already derived for the electric field because of point charge, that is E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into dq by r square. Right? As this is a small charge, the field is very small, d. Now to find the total field because of the entire surface where you have continuous distribution of charge, again the same technique, integrate d, right? Integrating d gives you over the surface, okay, over the surface, integral sigma ds by r square. Now this is equal to sigma by 4 pi epsilon naught integral ds by r square. Again surface integral is that you are supposed to write. Clear? So finally what expression you got here for this one? You got the expression like the electric field intensity because of continuous charge, surface charge distribution, E is equal to sigma by 4 pi epsilon naught integral ds by r square. Okay, try to remember this. Now once you know the linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution, the final one which we are going to discuss now is volume charge distribution. Right? Let us suppose you have a sphere of charge. What do you mean by a sphere of charge? A sphere over whose surface the charge is uniformly distributed. Yes, you can consider a cloud. Inside the cloud there will be some friction, and because of the friction charges are produced, and all those charges distribute themselves uniformly over the surface. Okay, like this. Now this is called as sphere of charge, and the distribution is called as spherical charge distribution. And we are going to find the electric field due to a spherical charge distribution. Again the procedure is the same, but you are supposed to recall again one more density, that is volume charge density. Okay, which already we discussed. What is this volume charge density? Volume charge density, rho, is defined as the charge per unit volume. Right? Let us suppose the entire volume here is V and the total charge present is Q. Then volume charge density is Q by V. From it you can write the expression for the charge, that is rho into V. Okay, rho into V. Once you know this, by adopting the same technique, you are going to find the final expression for electric field intensity because of this one. Say, because of this one at a distance r, at a point P, you are going to find the electric field intensity. Right? So what procedure you are going to adopt? Consider a very small volume of that sphere. Okay, you consider a very small volume. Let it be dV. And on dV volume, the charge present is also very small. Say it is dq. Then that dq can be represented as rho into dV. Okay, same procedure as we did that, we are doing here also. And because of this small charge, right, which now acts as a point charge, the electric field dV is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into dq by R square. Again you can write dE is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon rho dV by R square. And because of the spherical charge distribution, the electric field intensity, if we see that E is obtained by integrating this dE over the volume. So this is nothing but 1 by 4 by epsilon naught rho integral dV by R square. Okay, so you got the expression for the electric field intensity because of a sphere of charge. Okay, observe the procedure that we are adopting is one and the same in all the three cases, like linear charge distribution. In linear charge distribution, the point charge is the charge present on a length dl, and in surface charge distribution, the point charge is the charge that is present on a very small surface ds. And in case of the spherical charge distribution, the point charge that we consider is the charge that is present on an infinitesimally small volume dV. Then because of that, we are calculating electric field intensity. Then we are integrating and finally arriving at expression for the electric field intensity in case of line of charge, surface charge, and I can say volume distribution of charge. Okay. So with that, let us conclude our today's session. Okay. Have a nice